But I'm talking about serious mom brain, like serious. Like, I'm going to give you an example. The other day, I'm like, going around my parents' house. I was picking up the kids, and then I was leaving. I was saying goodbye, and I'm literally going, trying to grab everything that they left at my mom's house so that I could take it back to my house. And in the middle of it, I'm about to walk out the door, and I'm like, oh my God, Jacob's water bottle for school. Like, where is it? Where is it? And I start screaming in the house, like, come on, guys, we gotta go find the water bottle. Find the water bottle. And everybody's looking for the water bottle. My dad included, my mom included. The kids are looking. Listen, 10 minutes. You know where the water bottle was? Underneath my armpit. Like, I literally put it under my armpit, and I was walking around the whole house going, where's the water? Jacob,
are you
find the water bottle.
But you never went like, where is it? Welcome to Mama's Playground. This is Darlene.
And this is Monica.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're in episode 30 something, and it's crazy.
Time has passed by.
Time has passed.
Very fast.
Yes.
We have just been pumping out episodes.
It's like, and now I know we got to do it. And now the busy time is here. The holidays are coming up. Halloween just passed. How was your Halloween?
It was good.
Yeah.
The boys dressed up as a skeleton and then, a skeleton and Dracula. So I couldn't get anybody to go on theme. They wanted to be different things. And
That's perfect.
I was trying to be like the controlling mom that everybody does the same theme. And Benjamin was like, no, like, let them be. That's what they want to be. Just let them be. So it was nice.
Because we've seen it, for so many years, the same costumes, but it's the first time for our kids.
Yeah.
The witch, the old that, and Luna, of course, Princess Rapunzel and Snow White. And it's great because she has these costumes the whole year. She's wearing them. So when I asked her, what do you want to be for Halloween? I was like, I hope she doesn't say anything that I have to go buy. And perfect. She said princesses. And I'm like, yes. We've had those in your closet. But anyway, fun times. So I wanted to start saying, like, this is so funny what happened this morning driving here with you. Monica gets a phone call from this, I don't know if he's a coworker or client, or I believe he's Argentinian.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. She goes back and forth English, and it's like, first it's all Spanish and Argentinian, and we got the Cuban here, Cuban American, and it's all like, no, porque mira, porque los muebles, porque tapos, que ta, and then suddenly they both switch to English. And it's like a whole 1 minute conversation.
Because I'm so used to talking like that I think everybody just follows in my rhythm and does the same thing. Even if they would eventually just talk all Spanish or just all English, I'm so used to switching back and forth that they end up switching back and forth as well. Yeah. Obviously, if they know
but
language.
He did it first, and I
because he's used to me. He's known me for so many years, and he knows how I talk. So it's.
But for example, I was getting a haircut, and it's this Dominican lady. I love her. Like, oh my God, Dominicans, they give the best haircuts, blow drying. Love her, and her name is Chavela. So
shout out to Chavela.
Shout
I don't
out.
know her.
So she's cutting my hair, and it's Dominican, me Puerto Rican. But we're talking de todo, and suddenly she switches to English. And like super broken English, right? And like mine, but a little bit worse. And I'm like, okay, so she's just speaking English to me. And I'm thinking, we were just speaking Spanish for the past hour. And then all she wanted to do was speak
That doesn't, you see,
I love it.
I think this is a Miami or a Florida thing or whatever, because in some other places you go, they don't do that. So it's mostly here because we have such a melting pot, of different types of, mostly like Latins, Latin and then whatever. But I think it's cool that we could go back and forth between Spanish and English.
And it's very common with Cuban Americans or, for example, me, being born in Puerto Rico, my family always spoke English at my house. I was the only one that was like a rebel. I'm like, why are we speaking English? In Puerto Rico, we speak Spanish since I was a little girl. That is why I'm the only one in my family that has an accent. My brother Darren, my sister Celine, perfect English.
No, they talk with no accent.
And I'm the one that's like, mira, because and this Spanglish going on. But listening, for example, to this Dominican lady and then to your Argentinian friend, I don't know. It just, I was laughing in the car. I'm like, this is crazy. Anybody would be like so confused. Anybody that doesn't know English or Spanish, when we do like the Spanglish conversations, it's hard because they'll be like, wait, what did you just say? What was those last 3 words?
All the time. I do it all the time. It's something about being, again, I think it's a Miami thing or a Florida thing or whatever. It's us, the melting pot.
The melting pot.
So wait, hold on. Now I'm gonna well, because I want to shoot to it before I forget, right? Because we're going to be talking about forgetting stuff today.
Yeah.
Our episode is about forgetting things.
And I forgot what we're going to talk about.
Oh my God. And I don't think we wrote anything down of what we're going to talk about. But anyways, we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Basically, we wanted to talk about the mom brain syndrome, right? We were having this conversation the other day, okay, about forgetting things. And usually, especially if you're a mom, the excuse always is like, oh my God, that's just my mom brain.
Yeah.
And you just throw it out there. Oh, that's just my mom brain. Oh, that's just my mom brain. I forgot that it's my mom brain. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then I had to research this and see, is a mom brain really, is that a thing? Or is that just something we invented throughout time? And it is a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
It does
it's real.
exist. There's also that brain, but today we're going to focus on mom brain.
Well, because we're moms and we can
and
speak
because
for ourselves.
ours is worse. I believe.
I believe too. I don't know if it's the multitasking, but okay, so hold on one second. They say that mom brain, or everybody usually tends to think that mom brain is when you're in the middle of pregnancy, right? Like when you are pregnant. Most people think, oh, it's just when you're pregnant, and then once the baby comes and maybe 4 months pass by, 5 months pass by, everything goes back to normal.
No way. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
It goes on, and I don't think it ever goes away. I don't think it goes away either. Once it's like mom brain is like having another side child. It'll always be there
to haunt you.
But you gotta train it.
Hold on, because I'm gonna tell you some examples of stuff that has happened to me this week, and even to like coworkers of mine that are also, moms and all that. Obviously, it happens to anybody. You forget stuff, but I'm talking about serious mom brain, like serious. Like I'm gonna give you an example. The other day, I'm like, going around my parents' house. I was picking up the kids, and then I was leaving. I was saying goodbye, and I'm literally going, trying to grab everything that they left at my mom's house so that I could take it back to my house. And in the middle of it, I'm about to walk out the door, and I'm like, oh my God, Jacob's water bottle for school. Like, where is it? Where is it? And I start screaming in the house, like, come on, guys, we gotta go find the water bottle. Find the water bottle. And everybody's looking for the water bottle. My dad included, my mom included. The kids are looking. Listen, 10 minutes. You know where the water bottle was? Underneath my armpit. Like I literally put it under my armpit, and I was walking around the whole house going, where's the water? Jacob,
are you
find the water bottle.
But you never went like, where is it?
No, because I had if you know me personally, I'm always cargada with a bunch of stuff. So I had like both book bags, of the kids. I had the water bottle under my left armpit.
Between the bag,
it was under my armpit.
And your
it was under my armpit, and then I was walking around with like the keys in the other hand. And my friend George, if he knows, if he listens to this episode, he will laugh and say, "Oh my God, that's totally you." He has told me, "I'm gonna buy you a luggage so that you could take with the luggage around, because I cannot stand seeing you with so much shit in your hands."
But that's what we do. We as moms, we
all
have
day.
Like for me, I have my water cooler. I have Luna's. Yesterday, when was it? Not yesterday. The other day, we had baseball practice. So I have her water bottle, my water bottle, her Crocs. She had her sneakers on. I had the baseball shoes, her backpack with the bat, the glove, all that stuff. I had the trash that I had to go throw away, which ended up inside the car because I have so much stuff. I forgot I had trash.
We need luggages.
So I'm in the car with a trash and then all this other stuff that I'm carrying, not just for her, but for me. And then I wanted to take something to my mom's house. So I also was carrying a bag with like some clothes and some, empty containers of food that we share to give back to her. And yeah, it was like,
Would you say that you and I maybe are just hot messes sometimes? Is that what it is?
I'm sure that a lot of listeners can identify with this. And a lot of listeners are probably saying, oh, do I have stories? So shoot them this way. We'd love to
send them this way. Look, I know I'm not the only one. I'm telling you things that I forget. I was reading an article about this. And one lady was saying, there was an article about this doctor talking about how, I guess the baby, I don't know, she was like 2 years old. He's in the waiting room with the mom, talking to the mom about something. And I think they were going to give the little girl a vaccine or something of that sort. So they were telling the mom, hey, keep her entertained so that she doesn't cry, sing her a lullaby or whatever. And the mom couldn't remember not one lullaby.
What?
She stayed like frozen, like... And she's like, oh my God, I can't remember one lyric to any lullaby at this moment. And she goes, this is my mom brain. Like, what's going on with me? And the doctor at that point had told her, no, don't worry. That happens. It exists, But the little girls too. We're not talking about a baby. People tend to think that this mom brain thing is when you're pregnant. It's not something that lasts forever. And I think, listen, my kid is going to be 6 and the other one's 3. And I'm telling you, I feel that my mom brain is worse now than before.
Yeah, because it's just so many little details, like the lunch, especially you, that you have to, what they're going to have for lunch, then what they're going to have for dinner. Then I have to, at school. So one day they have to go dress up like an astronaut. The other day they have to go dress as, your favorite Disney character. Then it's Teachers Appreciation Day. So you got to get the gift. It's not one teacher, it's 2 teachers. And it's just all these little details. She has practice. Oh, and she has a game. And what color is the jersey that they wear today? Is it the gray? Is it the blue? It's all these little things. And this is just talking about things that are for the kids. Then for ourselves, for work, I got this deadline, I got to do this, I have to, my doctor's appointment. So the mom brain is going to explode.
But I mean, I'm talking about scenarios because obviously that's overwhelming. We've got a lot of, stuff on our plate and so on. So obviously you can't do it all. I mean, you can't be Superwoman. I'm sorry, you can't. You can try, but you can't. So I think like I've had moments where I'm sitting down like on the computer and I'm like, I know what I need to do, and all of a sudden my mind goes blank. I'm talking about blank, and I struggle to find out or to think of what it was that I was gonna do next, and I go crazy. And even like, let's say a coworker sitting next to me, I was like, oh my God, crap. Let's say I have a coworker named Liddy. I'm like, Liddy, I just forgot what I was going to do. It completely went off. Like, what was I doing? Why do I have this in my hand? What was I going to do with this? It's crazy. And it still happens to me to this day.
Yeah. It's like walking into a room and being like, why am I here? And actually going back to where you were, it helps. It's so weird because it does help when you're like, okay, let me go back to where I was when I thought about the need of coming to this room. Maybe I'll remember what it was. And then like for me, it's things like I say, okay, I'm going to clean the pantry, but then I end up like with bathroom products. And because in the process of cleaning the pantry, I went to the bathroom to open the closet there to get a towel to clean the pantry. And then when I go to the bathroom, I realize I need to clean the glass. So now I have like Windex, but it has nothing to do with
cleaning what you're going to clean.
And I end up, with stuff that in my hands that I'm like, why am I holding this? Like, why am I doing this?
Darlene, I'm starting to see a pattern in you and I though. Where I'm like, I don't know. Again, we go to the squirrel brain. We go to it could also tend to be personalities probably have it. Some personalities maybe have it worse. I don't know. I'm just thinking, again, I'm not a doctor, but I just have to think, because my mom has always told me, you've always been very acelerada. I'm very acelerada.
You are. Even when you speak, right?
Yeah. Even when I speak.
Right? My listeners, she's like,
and I can't help it. I get excited. I get passionate about what I'm talking about. And it's like, I want to spit everything out. So my mom is like, okay, when you were younger, you were always acelerada. My friend's dad used to call me machine gun. So I have that. He's like,
oh my God.
Machine gun, come here. Because he said that I would spit out words, fast. So he would call me machine gun.
Machine gun.
That was my nickname in their household. So I just started to think.
So you've been like this forever?
Acelerada, yes. But the forgetfulness, is it age? Is it really mom brain? But then I researched mom brain's real.
It's got to do, I guess, with the hormones. It starts in pregnancy. I'm trying to remember any story while I was pregnant. Probably there's a bunch, but again, it's mom brain. I don't remember. But yeah, it still happens. It still happens. And it's going to keep happening to us as things keep coming
more. Yesterday, I was at an event. So not just talking about us, because obviously we've got our things, but, bringing other people into the scenario. Yeah. A coworker of mine comes in. We had an event. And all of a sudden, she's like the top of the company. She knows everybody that works there. And all the people have been working there for years. And all of a sudden, she looks at me, she goes, oh my God, what's her name again? I go, what do you mean she's been here for 3 years? How do you forget her name? She goes, I'm having a mental blank.
Wow.
What is her name? And I go, XYZ. And she's like, oh my God, how did I forget that? I said, I don't know. And then all of a sudden,
Monica,
it came
that's
back
a very
to me.
weird name for somebody, XYZ. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
But you know what I mean? I don't want to put anybody's names out there. But it happens to so many people. So my thing is, how do we better that? Because it's not something that's going to go away. I think with age, it's going to get worse.
I have to say this. My mom left me at a supermarket when I was like 7, I think.
Oh, so this runs in the family.
No, I mean, it was my mom, so it's something, it's not new. I don't know. I mean, it's probably happened. We should research on that. Like, when did this start? Or it's something that it's part of, the human system. But she left me at a supermarket.
By yourself? For how long?
I was by myself. It was not far from where we lived in Puerto Rico. And I remember asking for 10 cents. At that time, it was 10 cents to make a phone call. I remember going to the phone booth, and I called my house, and my dad answered, and I'm like, I'm here. And he's like, oh, your mom just walked in with the groceries. Yeah, well, she left me
in the supermarket.
To this day, I'm like, was that on purpose? Remember the show Punky Brewster?
Yes.
I always watch it, and I was in the back of my head, it's like, I wonder if my mom was trying to abandon me. Sorry, Mom, I'm still here.
Oh my God. It definitely exists. How does it get better? I don't know if it gets better. They said there's studies, because I looked at it. There's studies that say, some studies, and that's the thing, they're mixed. They're all over the place. I didn't see one that was consistent with the other when I was looking at this.
Okay.
One was saying that yes,
how do they study this though?
I don't know if they look at people's brain chemistry of after when they get pregnant and then after they give birth and all that.
I would love to see a picture of that scan.
Oh my God, to see like what has changed from, I know, that would have been awesome.
It's like, this is you before the birth, and then this is you after. And then I want to see a picture of what's happening in our brain.
I would love to see if something actually changes. And so going to these studies, many different studies, different people, okay? And one study said, okay, so mom brain is a phenomenon. It does happen. And it's literally lasts you like 4 months after you give birth to the baby. So it happens while you're in pregnancy mode, and then after you give birth for 4 months. Okay, granted, that was that one. And after that, it goes away. Then the other one I read,
failed study, by the way.
Well, I mean, for us at least, maybe somebody else says, I never had that, and I don't have that. I don't know. Everybody's different. But then the other study said, no, mom brain can last you years to come, and it could possibly never ever go away. Oh. And so I was kind of like, okay, and they're all over the place. If you look at it, if you guys get onto Google, okay, because Google is my best friend,
and ChatGPT and Bard,
and ChatGPT and Bard,
and your phone,
you guys can see what I'm talking about. All the articles. There's not one article from any of these researched, doctors or whatever that coincide with each other. Everything is all over the place. So some say yes, you do get it. Some say that no. Some say that the mom brain does not exist. Maybe it's that you have more things now on your plate, and now you're realizing that you're forgetting things, but you always forgot things. So there was not one consistent study. Let's say, at least that's what I found.
I think that they all agree in that it does affect your cognitive functions of thinking, remembering, or it does affect it. Now, I guess it's a matter of some studies might say it affects you for this period of time. Again, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So some could be like you say, some moms being like, oh, I don't have mom brain.
Yeah. I remember everything. My mind is very clear. I do everything. Listen, if that's you and you're listening, I take mi sombrero off and I bow down to you, because I'm definitely not that person.
Yeah. Like when they ask you, what did you do last night? And you're like, oh my God.
What did I do?
What did I do? It's for clothes. Like if you're going to an event and you're going to see this group of friends, you have to go back to the pictures to see what you were wearing.
And make sure.
Even if it was just a week
And make sure that you don't wear the same thing because it's
Yeah.
like kind of, well, I mean, who cares? But at the end of the day, yes, you don't want to show up with the same thing. You forget.
Yeah.
You forget.
I was reading about this other case of mom brain. This mom was trying like to leave her house and she was hurrying up and she was looking for the pacifier. Her husband was playing with the baby. Da, 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 da. And then she's like, I gotta go. Where's the pacifier? Where's the pacifier? So I can leave it like next to you, whatever. So suddenly she finds the pacifier. She runs to her husband and the baby and puts the pacifier in her husband's mouth and then walks away. And then like he calls her and he's like, did you realize what you just did before you left? You put the pacifier in my mouth. So I mean that's that's one case. Then we have on the unfortunate situations where the kids are left in the car.
Yes.
And you know, we're laughing about this whole thing, mom brain, and it's funny, but even though we make it like it's funny, oh my God, it's mom brain, but you have to remember that also that could have serious consequences, like leaving your kid in the car, leaving the something turned on in your house. Oh my God,
like the stove or something.
Like the stove. Yeah, and it can happen very, very easily. Like leaving the door open, all of these things. Like we have to work on them. The other day, I was doing some arts and crafts because that's one good thing that's happened since I had Luna. I've become like more crafty, and I love
more creative.
More creative. So we were like, I was using the glue gun to do something, and then I left. And it wasn't until probably 9 hours later that I came back.
And you remembered?
And I was like, I saw it plugged. And I said, oh no, thank God that it was on a plate. Like nothing happened.
And she didn't see it
But
probably.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just little things that you could do that is caused by the mom brain that could really turn into a tragedy.
Now that you say that, I remember when I just had Jacob, my firstborn, and mi suegra, I remember, because again, I am, I like to multitask and sometimes I can't do everything. Mm-hmm. And so she knows that I have a tendency to want to.
Her mother-in-law, for those of you that don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, exactly. Thank you for saying that.
They're going to be like, suela, la suela.
Suegra, mi suegra, my mother-in-law. And I remember her saying to me, be careful because I've seen people that have left their babies in the car. And I was like, wow, how can somebody forget that they have a baby in the car? But granted, things happen. Like you have got so much stuff going on, and especially if you're a new mom.
And
right?
if the baby's sleeping, that you're not used to having the baby there, the baby's sleeping, so she's not making any sounds, and it's happened with a lot of dads too.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. It happened with the mom. You just went through. I don't want to say it's traumatic. It's not. It's a beautiful experience, but it's a very it's you're customizing how do I say that? You are getting acostumbrada now to this new,
getting used to
this new life that you have, and you can forget that you have a baby that's now in the backseat of your car, that you're going to the doctor's office with the baby, and you literally get out of the car with your keys, turn it off, and you start walking towards the doctor's office, and you forget that the baby's in the backseat. And I've seen many of this, and I've heard people's stories, personal stories about this, and I'm like,
or animals too,
and
like
everything. I go back because we're talking about the parenting and the kids and all that, and how pregnancy and after the fact can affect these things in you.
Talking about the leaving the babies in the car, that's why so many cars now have something saying, they can sense that there's somebody in the
still
backseat.
when you lock,
and the light will show up like, baby, don't forget the baby. I'm glad that these cars have it.
No, it's like, how do you know?
I wish I had like something all the time saying like, don't forget this, don't forget that.
Oh my God, don't worry. What you're asking for is coming. They're going to there's going to be AI. They're going to stick something on our head, and I don't know, with all the technology that we've talked about, something's coming soon. It's going to help. Somebody's going to invent that if they haven't already. But yeah,
you're going to be in your house and it's like, beep, beep. Darlene, remember, turn off the lights.
You know what I need?
I would love that one because I forget to turn them off.
You know what I need? I always lose my keys. So they have those key reminders, so that you have the little button that you kind of press and and like beep beep wherever the keys are. I need
Yeah.
that. But then I would be the person that would lose the little thing that makes the keys go beep beep. You know what I mean?
Well, find my iPhone, for example. When I can't find my phone in the house, I just go iCloud. Make sure you remember your password, and then it beeps. And I probably use that like twice a week.
Oh my! You see, that's what I'm saying. I think this is me again, just analyzing the whole situation. I think it goes down to yes, mom brain exists. So pregnancy, hormones, all this stuff. Starting to tend to a new life, especially if you're a first time mom. Just getting used to this new life.
Yeah.
Because it's a big difference from before.
And then the pressure, because everybody's always as a new mom trying to tell you, do this, don't do that, do this. Oh, you got to do that. And it can be hard. That's why staying close to friends, especially friends that have already, the support is so important. So, that studies have also shown that pregnancy results in a loss of gray matter.
In your brain?
In your brain.
Oh, so you see, there you go. So we go back to the scans of our brain. I wonder if we would have
want to see a picture.
If somebody would have taken our brain scan at 20 and now would they see differences? And I just wonder, how do you know it's not dementia that you're going through? Like, how do you know it's not something that's going to become more serious later, Because I'm always like, it's just mom brain.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's mom brain.
So they were saying that one thing that we should do, instead of spending so much time like on Instagram, where you're not using your brain for anything. You're just like looking at people's lives and just probably getting ideas of, I want to buy that. Oh, I want to go to that restaurant that my friend wrote about. That's all BS. But they say, which I actually do, and sometimes I hide it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm a grown old woman like playing games on my phone. But it helps.
What? Playing what type of games?
Any game like puzzles, like word games, things like that where you have to think, trivia games. I love playing that. And it's a time where I'm having like my mind is working. I'm putting this thing up here to work. And I'm not thinking about anything else. And even at times I'm playing these games and I'm already kind of like thinking, okay, putting in order all the things I have to do for the day. And it actually, I don't know, it kind of like it stops me. I'm focused on something that has to do with, mind games, but at the same time, I'm working my mind towards being productive later. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense for me.
No, it makes sense. And I'm going to tell you, going to what you just said about, crossword puzzles and that sort of thing. Benjamin, my husband's grandmother, she's 90 or 91. Listen, that lady's brain, that lady knows everything. She hears everything. She knows everything. She remembers everything. And you know what she does? I sometimes will go, let's say to go pick up the kids or whatever over there because she's there and she's doing crossword puzzles. Till this day, she does crossword puzzles. And I never thought anything of it. And then one day I was talking to Benjamin and I was like, wow, your grandma's always doing these. They give her these little, she loves to sit down and do crossword puzzles. And
so
it helps.
Like the notebooks that you find at the store, like
that's what she has for $2. And she sits there.
So it doesn't have to be your phone.
Yeah. And let's say physically, she might not be at the best in the sense of like, she's got arthritis, this and that. But her mind, I tell you, if I could have a brain like that at 90, if I could live to be 100 with that mind where everything is clear, where I remember all my grandkids' names. She's
some
got
things we want to forget though.
Some things we want to forget,
I wish we could control that. Take this out. Take this out.
Selective.
Take this out. Select. Okay, remember this. Forget about what happened in 1984.
But it works, darling. What I'm trying to tell you is that it works.
Yeah.
And one day I sat there talking to her and I'm like, she's like, no, you got to keep your mind clear. And even though physically she might not be at the best, arthritis, this and that, but her mind.
She's 90.
She's 90, but still, this is a woman that she has 20 grandkids. And I don't know, and she counts them, and anytime you talk to her, she knows everybody's name. She knows their birth dates. Wow. She knows how old they are.
I believe at Noah's birthday.
Yes. Yeah. And I say to myself, my God, what a gift. And I say it's a gift, but it's also something that we have to work on because we work on building our muscles at the gym, but sometimes we forget to build that muscle in our minds.
You gotta work on your mental health, on your muscles, and in your brain, remembering things.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. Because exactly, we say it's mom brain, but what if it's something else?
Yeah.
Like right now, and dementia is one thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be Alzheimer's. Dementia comes in like this.
It creeps
slowly. It creeps in. Like when you start losing your eyesight. Like it just starts. And at times I get scared. I'm like, oh shoot, I mean, I believe that has to do also a lot with history, family history.
Hereditary.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, there's probably cases that are not, I mean, we didn't want to take it so far into dementia. We were talking in a funny, light note about mom brain, but obviously there's serious consequences.
Yeah. You can't say that everything is mom brain. You just have to be aware of like what's happening. And there's some things that you could do. For example, they recommend meditating. It's crazy because I feel like for everything, meditation, yoga, therapy is always like one of the first
crossword puzzles
that people recommend. So it's just taking, again, and we keep saying this in so many episodes, it's taking time for ourselves as moms to kind of like regroup our thoughts.
Yeah.
Get a calendar. I am all about calendars, either on your phone or on paper, but just have like everything, if you have everything like organized in a calendar, it's a way of helping the situation of forgetting everything that you have to do.
You know what happened to me the other day, bringing that up, and we've had this because we have a shared calendar for this podcast. Funny. Well, no, wait to see what happened to me with work, okay? Because obviously I do go to work and I do have, 2 days that I go to the office. We had a meeting, a really important meeting, and it's not that I forgot. I didn't get the reminder on my phone. You know that I was having issues with my phone with our calendar.
Yeah.
Listen, I was the only one that didn't show up to the meeting. And it was like a big, important meeting. No. And I didn't get there. People texting me, where are you? Darlene. And they're like, we told you this a week ago. But I was like, yeah, but you were going to send a reminder. It didn't come through my phone. I relied on my phone.
On your phone.
And my brain just literally just didn't, I forgot about it, So obviously I was kind of reprimanded for that. Oh. But it happened. It happened to me. So I say to myself, yes.
It's good to have both. Like, again, for me, don't depend solely on your phone. Just have like a calendar that you have somewhere in your house. I think you have one.
I do.
think I've seen one. Then use it.
I have to put it to work.
Yeah, and then just put like meeting. But once you have everything and you see it, like if you see it, it's gonna stay there.
Hold on. But are we gonna put on the calendar? Please don't leave the stove on. Please make sure to put your keys on the council table where you're gonna listen. If I don't put my things in the same spot every time, I go berserk.
Well, this is something you can do. You can have like a paper of like before, if it's something that's happening, especially something as leaving the stove on, because it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
If it's something that's happened or you think it can happen, just even write it down. Put a note by the door, stove, this, like a reminder. Okay, oh shoot, yeah, I forgot. Let me go. I'm all about lists. I love making lists.
And research papers.
I love that. But yeah, Post-it notes. For me, I love Post-it notes.
Oh my God. So your house is probably like fluorescent pink or fluorescent yellow, like Post-it notes everywhere, like on the refrigerator. Make sure to buy eggs.
Not yet. It's not that severe. It's not that severe, but I do like my Post-it notes. And I found one yesterday and it was for, I don't remember what it was for. But yeah, I remember seeing it and I'm like, oh, I did that. And then I trashed it and it feels so good because it's like done.
Yeah, it's like a cycle.
Yes.
I have a little fly going around my head, so
I know.
Sorry.
So yeah, the shared calendars, it's funny because the other day I get a message saying like dinner with, it was another woman.
Yeah, with two friends of mine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, because I share calendars with Fabian, so I see dinner with, I think you put one name and I'm thinking, so I remember texting you, Monica, do you have dinner with this person? And she's like, oh shit,
I'm sorry.
I put it on the wrong calendar. But I'm like, no, it's okay. Because if not, I was going to ask Fabian. Like, who's this person that you're going to go have dinner with? You put it in the wrong calendar, buddy.
My mom brain did like the opposite of what I was supposed to do.
But yeah, that was funny. That could get people in trouble.
It can. Okay, so hold on. Do you have anything else that you were gonna bring in there? Like any good like tips and tricks that we have seen, or
alarms?
Yeah.
You want to see my alarms?
No, I don't.
You've seen them.
No.
Alarms. It's all about alarms. That's
alarms.
It. Yes. Pick up your daughter. Drop off your daughter. You should leave that. I always do like leave the house by this time. Alarm for obviously the vitamins. I say obviously, but it's obvious for me. You got to take your vitamins. Alarms for you got to make this phone call. You got to call. I have like 6 alarms. Yeah.
Alarms.
But it helps because it takes the stress of, shoot, I can't forget this. I don't want to forget this. No, you have an alarm system going there telling you like, hey.
But I think that is more organization, right? That's more organization. I think the mom brain thing, though, is something that even if you had all those things, for some reason, again, something like just like you're talking to somebody mid-sentence and all of a sudden you go,
it's happened to me here in the podcast.
Me too. And then you say, what the hell was I going to say? And you start stuttering. You go, oh my God. And you cannot, for the life of you, think of what you were going to say. So going to that, if you're listening to us and you've had this happen to you, know that this is a common thing.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. We are all in this together. And what can we do? We just have to realize that, it's things that we got to just try to be conscious of it, And I think that's probably the best tip that I can come with this episode,
And in order to get support,
talk to other moms.
And then if you're the husband or you're the wife, because the same thing can happen to men. There's that brain, like I said. Just support each other, like do reminders, like, hey, or send a text message, hey, honey, don't forget this. I don't know. Anything helps.
Everything and anything helps. So yes, so if you're listening to our episode, we would love to hear from you. If you have like a funny story and maybe a serious story that happened to you with something like mom brain or even dad brain, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear it because, again, this is a community effort. We want to know we're not alone. We've been there. So, we'd love to hear from you.
And just take it easy, you know? Take it easy.
Breathe it out.
You're doing a great job, mama.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, ciao, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are on Instagram, mamas.playground.
Yes.
We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. What else?
I don't know.
We're everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere.
Love you guys. And bye.
Bye, guys.